Let's bring in the voice of the Rochester Red Wings for a 10th season. Josh Wetzel, good to see you again, buddy.
Number 10. Thanks, Steve.
Are you, well, this is maybe the lamest question of all time. Are you excited?
I'm ready, yeah.
You get pumped up for opening day more than any other day?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's a little bit of a letdown normally that day after then when it seems like in April the weather's always kind of nasty around here.
Yeah.
Looks like this year's going to be a little bit different, so that's exciting. But yeah, opening day's great.
Different because the Red Wings will be sharing Frontier Field with the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Yankees this year. They've been renamed, Pat, the Empire State Yankees for the year.
Really?
Yeah, very cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So how are we going to structure the games? I mean, are we going to have overlapping times?
Well, there will be 8 games that the Red Wings would have played in Scranton that they'll be playing in Rochester against the Empire State Yankees, and the Red Wings will be the visiting team technically for those games.
How about that?
Cool.
So the Red Wings will stay in the same dugout they would normally be in, but they'll be wearing the road uniforms and that sort of thing. So it's going to be crazy. I mean, 37 of those games will be played at Frontier Field this season with Empire State as the home team.
But to answer your question, no, there will be no day where there's a Red Wings game and a Scranton game. There will be no day where there's two games.
Okay.
Right.
It'll just be a much busier atmosphere overall.
Very much so, yeah. 109 games instead of 72 this year.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
And do you have to work every one of those games? Is that your position?
I'll be on the road with the Red Wings broadcasting those games, so I won't have to deal with that. But the other people in the front office, they'll be working all those extra games. So it's going to be a busy time, especially for the grounds crew. I mean, the grounds crew is going to have a ton of pressure on them to make sure the field is in good shape, and especially early in the season because April and May are when a lot of those Empire State Yankees games will be played. I think in May, 31 days in May, I think there are going to be 26 games out of 31 days at Frontier Field.
Now, I know you're not a groundskeeper, but you say the turf is going to take a pounding over there at Frontier Field. How do they do it? How do they maintain that beautiful green grass?
Well,
when I can't even get my lawn to grow.
I hear you.
And I'm one person walking on it.
I hear you. And I think it's tougher also up here because our weather in the winter obviously is not what it is in the south where they maybe have a little bit of an easier time. But Gene Buonamo is our head groundskeeper, and he's got a staff that works with him, and those guys put in unbelievable hours. I don't know, Steve, you're probably familiar with George Toma, the famous groundskeeper. The
guru of groundskeeping.
They always used to send him to every Super Bowl, every World Series to work on that. George Toma works for the Twins, who are the Red Wings parent club, with their team in Fort Myers, Florida. And George came up here this offseason. We had him come up to Frontier Field for a couple of days, and he went over some things. And so I know Gino is going to try to adhere to some of those ideas that George Toma had.
How do you mow the lawn so it's in a pattern like that? You ever go to a ball game and the grass is so
it's always
how do you do it's crisscross? How do you?
Well, I think they mow it one direction and then they mow it the other.
I do that to my lawn.
Oh yeah.
I do.
Do you really?
I really do. So you can have that design in the lawn. I love it.
And you can get really fancy with it. I know there are a couple of teams. We should probably do this sometime also.
Yeah.
A couple of teams have put a poll online for their fans to vote on different designs, and whatever the fans wanted is the design they mowed in the field.
Isn't it so funny that everything can be customized? We were talking to the Increte guy last week, and everything's customizable.
That's cool.
Even your lawn.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, they do a great job over there, but I want to get a visual since I've only been over at that stadium maybe 10 times in my life.
Okay.
Where do you put yourself to do your job as a broadcaster or announcer? Which is the proper title for your?
Either one's fine with me.
Okay, so you're going to
call him a disc jockey.
Not a DJ. So you're going to broadcast the game. Where do you sit?
I'm in a booth at the press box level, pretty much straight behind home plate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to get a visual where you come in from. Okay.
No, I'm not pulling a Harry Carey from the bleachers.
But laugh. We, I did Red Wings games back in the '80s for a season. I had a chance to do Red Wings games, and it was a dream come true. Always wanted to do baseball.
I love your story from the playoffs that year.
Oh gosh, do I have to tell that story?
Well, that's up to you, Steve.
The year, all right, I'll tell it quickly. I'll tell the
I hope I didn't pick a scab there.
The Red Wings are in Columbus to play for the International League Championship. And to make a long story short, I traveled with the team with Josh Lewin, who is now a big-time national radio announcer. And the Wings win. They win the whole thing. And I had brought this bottle of champagne with me. So when they did win the championship, I popped the bottle of champagne and celebrate with the listeners. Who can't be there. I'm going to, just sort of, we'll pop the bottle, we'll sip it. Now, the Wings win. And Josh Lewin goes down to the Wings locker room. He says, I'm going to go down and tape some interviews. And you just sort of stretch, and I'll come back and we'll play the interviews. So I pop the bottle of champagne and start drinking it. And slowly but surely, as I'm drinking, I said, where's Josh? For crying out loud, I need you. I'm getting drunk here. So I got a little plastered on the air. Josh comes back. We play the interviews. We go out afterwards and whoop it up. And the team is leaving to come back to Rochester at 7 o'clock the next morning. And I missed the plane.
Oh, my God.
Oversleep. Everyone's banging on the room. The manager's banging on the room. The general manager, wake him up. We can't leave without him. But they did.
But they did.
And I remember calling my wife. I said, Julie, I need a ride. I need a ride. She says, from the airport? I said, no, to the airport. I'm in Columbus.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's my anniversary.
Oh, good job. So before we break, Andy Pettitte, let's have it.
So that's my story.
Yeah, wow. That's good.
All right, she's got an Andy Pettitte
Andy
thing.
Pettitte, I need to know.
I'd love to tell you that Andy Pettitte will pitch for the Empire State Yankees this year. There's no guarantee right now. We don't know. I mean, he's going to be pitching this weekend probably somewhere in the minor leagues for the Yankees, and we'll just have to wait and see. The first Empire State game at Frontier Field will be against the Red Wings on April 16th. So I know Dan Mason would love if Andy Pettitte
wouldn't that be the
happened
best?
to be making that start. That would be really great.
Dan Mason and Alex.
And me.
Yeah.
And me.
I know you had to do some retrofitting of the building over there to accommodate the two teams that will be playing this year. Real quick, what have you done underneath the stands?
Yeah, they just there's an old auxiliary locker room down there for when the soccer games are played there. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of expanded that a little bit for visiting teams, and Empire State will be in the old visiting clubhouse. So there was some work done in the clubhouse level to make sure that 3 teams could fit in there.
He's got a great voice, doesn't he?
Yeah, I can. It sounds familiar on the mic now. I can
perfect.
tell.
That deep baseball voice.
Yeah.
Well, you are the game for so many people who listen to the Red Wings games every single day, and I kind of am still jealous of anyone who can make money broadcasting baseball games, and you do a great job.
Well, I appreciate it, Steve. Thanks.
10th season, you can check out Josh. He's on a competing radio station. I won't tell you where and when, but if you're a Red Wings fan, you know where to find him, and I wish you the best this season.
Thanks, Steve.
All right,
I'll need all the luck I can get.
I'll come over to see you later on today.
Right, sounds good.
We'll be back in a second. We're going to talk with the gang from Independent Inspection Services. Also, we'll have Carlos in our corner a little bit later on. We're here till 10. Property Source Radio at Sports Radio 950 ESPN.